Let's see if anybody hops on tonight. I am late. Late. What is shaking? See if anybody pops on. I am super late, but we shall see if anybody hops on here tonight. It's been a couple weeks since I've been gone. We'll see. Zach, hey, what's going on, man? How are you? Nice to have you in the chat. I have been. It's been wild. Holy cow, we already got 3 rolling in heavy here. Where have I been? What have I been doing? Email so I can pay. All right, let me get to my email here. Let me see if I can do that right now while we're waiting for some people to pop on in, and we shall see what is going on right here. Salvatore, how are you? Great to have you here as well. We'll see if anybody pops on here. Have you emailed me recently? Man, I don't even know. There it is, right there. Forever ago, Zach. Hey, Murray, what's going on? What's going on? Salvatore. Bill Beckett, how are you? Oh, dang. You emailed me a picture. I didn't even see it, man. I am sorry. I've been so... Oh, my gosh. It has been wild lately. But I would love to talk to you again. I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. Just kind of giving an update on what has been going on with the heavy wrench and stuff like that with me, Phil, whoever you want to say. But yeah, life's been good. Oh my gosh, One Mechanic is here. I haven't seen you in forever either, man. You've been doing good. Dave, nice to have you here. How are you doing? Getting ready? Are you done with the snow yet, Dave? That's my question. Are you done with the snow? I am done with the snow. What's going on? Hey, Bill. Hey, Dave. Hey, AgTech. I have been extremely busy lately, man. I've actually had, it's been wild. Work has been crazy. I got plenty, I've got so much, there's so much work, man. It's insane. It's just insane. People like drops. I mean, it's just been job after job after job. It's been good. Life has been good, though. I will say that. I appreciate the business. It's been good. It's been good to be independent. It's been amazing. It's good though. Mr. Mike Jones reached out to me on last Monday and asked me where I've been, how I've been doing, and I guess I haven't been around lately. I've been having some fun with my boy, my oldest. He's been working on some stuff in the shop. We got an engine about ready to fire up. Hopefully we get push rods on Monday. Had to order some push rods, so got my push rod length all figured out on the 351 build that I'm doing. So that thing should be firing up. I didn't get any content of me putting it together, but it's just an engine build. It's nothing special. I mean, well, it's something special, but it's a Ford, right? We'll get lots of hack comments on that. I'm saying hi, hello everyone. Well, our schedules finally work out. Absolutely. I got a international truck that I'll probably be working on here in the next week or two. Got some issues going on with that. Don't know what's going on, but definitely going for there. I should have RG Farms on sometime too, man. Haven't talked to him. I talked to him on a personal level, stuff like that, but I haven't really had a chance to talk to him too much. But yeah. Black Smoke is working on the 379, which is sweet, by the way, man. That is sweet. Off-road wrench. How you doing, Mr. Nate? I haven't talked to you in a long time. I don't know if you want to pop in. If you have good service, I could throw you an email of a link or whatever if you want. You know, a mechanic, hey, off-road wrench, Salvatore Lopez. Tried applying for Wagner, but got a no. Currently working for an international. Going great, learn a lot. Awesome, man. Like, keep up the good work. You're going to do great. I'm sure of it. I have been listening to every episode of the Certified Wrench podcast, and it has been pretty phenomenal. Hopefully someday I'll get to get on that. How is it going in Oregon? Yes, that would be an awesome update there. Seen some really good news for everyone. Yes, everyone's been doing pretty good. Hello, Off-Road Wrench. Mr. Nate still doing his thing. He's got that old Pete running good, it looks like, from what I've seen. Yeah, absolutely. This one here, customer tried installing a brake controller. Something happened. Not sure what. It sounds like they pulled the signal. It's a 2005 International 4300, I believe. Sounds like they pulled the brake controller signal off of the brake switch, which I would think would be fine, but I don't know for sure if that's multiplexed or how that's actually set up, to be honest with you. So I guess I'm looking for some advice on that as well. Any international guys out there? Actually, I might have to get a hold of. I wonder if J.C. Smith would know on that one. Might. We'll see. But yeah. RC crawlers, that's awesome. Awesome, man. That's what I've been doing the past couple weekends. So Saturday nights I've been trying to not work on Saturdays and spend some time with my oldest, and we were building some derby car parts, and actually I got a frame that's pretty much going together for the car that I'm building this year. I'm going to try building two of them. But I got the frame almost done on that one. I got to get a couple more things welded up before the body goes on it. And the engine should be starting this week, maybe one night after I get done. Me and the boy will go out there, probably work a little late, and see if I can't schedule in a little bit of time for us to see if we can't put the push rods, basically lifters, push rods, rockers, intake, carb distributor, starter, fire it up, water pumps on it. Everything else is ready to rock and roll. So I am definitely excited for that because it's something we've been doing together. We got the heads on it. Everything's doing good, you know. So it's been cool. It's been a cool project. I had the crank turned, polished, I should say. It was in good shape, so we're good there. We got some. I don't want to get too specific, but I don't really care. It's 60 over pistons. Got her together. Did some block work for some oiling, oil upgrades. Run a little extra clearances here and there for different stuff, which will hopefully help the heat situation better. And I'm going to try to run this on E85. So we're going to see what happens. I got to figure out some super hot spark plugs for it when I go to that, I think. See if I can get some good spark and stuff going for it. So that's my plan as of right now. So that's where I'm at with that engine build. It's warming up here and we're in full swing again. Yeah, we're warming up, but we had snow again today, Nate, here in Michigan. I woke up this morning, looked outside, we had a little bit of snow covering. maybe in person. The school's having the 150th anniversary. If anyone's interested, please let me know. Will do, man. That's a pretty cool, exciting thing. Good evening, Will. How are you? I believe you were a big winner on RG Farms and Repair the other week on a giveaway, weren't you? Let's see if I can do a little bit of stuff here. Copy the clipboard. Go over to here. Compose. We'll see if we can pop somebody on here. Nope. Nope. Where did I send that to you at there, Nate? Let me see if I can find your Why do I not have that in there? Maybe it was before that happened there. Let's see here. That should be under that one. Let's go to this one. Oops. What do we got here? Let's go to this. I got it now. That was before I was talking to Nate before I had the heavy wrench at Gmail. Oh, I will do that one then. Okay, let's go back to here. Let's see here. What do we got? All right. Well, let's go here. Let me send this quick video here. I'm actually live on YouTube right now, so hi. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Anyway, let's see here. We need to do this again. I am so sorry. I got distracted and stuff here. Let's go back to this one. Compose to send this out. Let's see. We'll do a little paste here. We'll see if we can get some stuff on here. All right. Sorry about that. We're doing good now. 13 in the chat. It's supposed to snow tonight and tomorrow in Vermont. Yeah. But you guys get it a little after us then. Anyone is welcome. Zach, been working very busy up here. Lots of snow to move. Absolutely. Check your text. Got it all set. It's been trying to snow here, but just light flurries. Yeah, we had a little bit. Pat, how are you? Nice to have you. Full-blown mud season. Oh my gosh, dude. It has been the muddiest of muddies lately. It has just been sloppy, nasty. I thought he graduated too, Pat. But we will see. We shall see. They might be having alumni come back though too, for that, for sure. So what else has been going on work-wise? I actually had a 6.7 Power Stroke come in. I don't even know if I want to. I don't think I'm going to take that job on though. It needs a complete fuel system. Not really something I think I want to dive into at this time. Talk to the customer. I kind of told him my time frame of stuff, and it's like, man, there ain't much squeezing stuff in right now. It's like, shoot, I can't even. It's tough right now to get work done. Everybody's kind of, yeah. It's been good. I got a head gasket to do on a 4455. Tomorrow I gotta go get that situated, so we're ready to go for that on Monday. So that'll be fun. Yeah, once we get that in and rolling, we'll be good there. I got a wood chipper, or actually a stump grinder. Actually, a wood chipper that I need to install an auto feed on. Let's see, what else? I can get parts for the unions. I'm not a people person too. Well, I am a people person, but yeah, I haven't went to any reunions really. Can you get parts for the 6.7? Yes, actually I can. It's all in stock, or at least it's a day away, pretty much is where we're at with that one. So that's not the issue. The issue is the time I have versus the time it's going to take. It's probably a 3-day job, right? 3.5 days ish to do that whole fuel system. I'm guessing. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be probably a tough one to get done. I just don't know if it's worth the. I don't know if it's worth putting that on the books right now with the rest of the stuff that I got going on. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Redline Gary, how are you? Nice to have you in the chat, as usual. Lots of stuff, man. Just going crazy. Lots of work, lots of fun. Actually, lots of fun on the weekends. Last 2 weekends, probably should have just done the live stream from where we're working on the cars and stuff. But it's definitely fun. Definitely fun stuff. Maybe your brother can have. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. He's busy enough with his own stuff going on too. So probably not going to be a lot of collaboration on that deal. Awesome. Hello, Gary. Evansville Bucket. Everybody's saying hi. Looking good. Jaltis is treating me well. Actually, Black Smoke on that 6.7, I hooked to it, called it a medium duty. It hooked right to it. So I think there's a little more opportunity there with the medium duty stuff, with the Duramaxes and the Cummins and the Power Strokes that I can get into. So it's been pretty good. I don't mind the functionality of the Jaltis, to tell you the truth. I kind of like it. The only thing that I don't like about it is probably the same with Texa, and probably the same with everybody else, is I don't think there's a lot of function with the hydraulic systems and other stuff that really the other stuff that you have, the other controllers you have to get into. Like, you pull up a truck and you can get into the ABS, the transmission, the this, that, and the other thing. When you pull it up on equipment, you can really only see the engine stuff on most of the stuff. So hopefully that's doing well. I did hear. I do know they're talking about doing better. Trying to proceed forward with that stuff. So hopefully that will work out. Very surprised at the tours. That's awesome. Bill Beckett, how are you doing? Back 100% yet? A family video, your brother and the old time welder, and you were. That would be gold. Would be a definite term for that. It would be solid gold. That's for sure. Solid for sure. I know that would be pretty funny. not quite 100%, but improving. That's awesome. That is awesome. Um, for sure. That is awesome. Let me do something here. Sorry, trying to see if we can get some other stuff here. For sure, man. I would like that would be awesome to hang out sometime. I should do like a hangout somewhere of something and whatever else. Holy cow! Look, we're gonna make this stream a whole lot prettier. Okay, it's gonna be a whole lot prettier here pretty quick. Um, once we get straightened around here. I don't know if it just locked up because of what he's got going on or what I got going on here. It still looks daylight over there. Good Lord. Let's see here. Locked up on him. Howdy. Snap on Addict 101. Howdy. How are you? Snap on Addict. Right on. I'm working from home. The shop and my house are on the same street, which makes it a lot easier. Absolutely. Supposedly Texas is working on that with pulse width modulation, adjusting ETC. We'll see. Definitely would be especially. Yes, absolutely. Yes. All right. Let's see. And here we go. Look out.
Does that work?
That does work. If anybody hears any backfeed, let me know, because I don't know exactly how it's going to work. But let me make sure that we're doing well here. Default speakers. Yeah, we'll just leave it where it's at. I think we're good.
Okay, we're gonna adjust them.
Is it still daylight?
Oh yeah.
It is. It is pitch black here. Look at how far away we are. Are you sitting in the Peterbilt?
I am. I had to get somewhere where we didn't have a bunch of noise.
and what year Peterbilt is that?
77.
Okay,
Let's
so
see.
a 1977 Peterbilt is the quietest place you could find to sit.
Yeah.
That is a man with kids. That is all sorts of stuff running around and animals and whatnot. And how is life? How are you, man? It's been forever. I've seen your truck just keeps getting prettier and prettier as I see pictures on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else. And it looks like you got a pretty good helper coming up the ranks.
Yeah. Hold on. I think I'm gonna mute. I think I got double here. Hold on. What do we got?
I can hear you.
Did I lose you?
Nope, you're still there. I can hear you.
Okay. Hold on.
Video. Now you're moving again.
Okay, so I can't read any comments because I had to cancel out.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I had to cancel out YouTube because I got my phone. I don't have the laptop hooked up right now, so I'm not able to see any of the comments. But yeah, dude, we've been. Well, the truck broke down. I don't know how many people knew that, but we lost injector cups actually in January. And let's see, looks a little dark there. Hold on. There we go. So we lost injector cups in January. Tried getting some tooling from Freedom Racing, tried doing them ourselves, tooling up to be able to do injector cups and a bunch of other stuff. Injector cups were not available from either what is it, SPI? I believe it's SPI makes a set, and then Cummins themselves. So we tried doing it ourselves for a while, bought it, took it to the machine shop. Those heads are still at the machine shop. Big Cam 1 Big Cam 1, Big Cam 2 are the same. Big Cam 3 is different. Big Cam 4 is even different from there, right? So everybody wants to just say Big Cam 1. Big Cams are Big Cams. They're not. And I had a Big Cam 1 in this truck. Fairly low mileage Big Cam 1, but it's, idle time. You know what we do with a service truck, and we abuse the crap out of them.
Absolutely.
So anyways, yeah,
you're running a crane. You're driving down logging trails, which is really good on everything, right? And,
yeah.
And for you, a deep oil pan is definitely something essential for your steep grades, because you're always going up and down grades, aren't you? I mean, reality.
Yeah, I mean, a Big Cam 3's in. I mean, just a tremendous number of log trucks still running up and down logging roads out here. So, but you better have a bag full of cash at the back door ready to go get them when they come available right now, because the parts availability for everything is unreal. Had a buddy of mine up north here in Oregon that said he just called for a Caterpillar gold overhaul on a 5EK, and it was 5 months out. So it's not just Cummins, right? It's Cat, it's International, it's everything. It's unreal right now.
It don't matter. I mean, at this point right now, I have actually found that some of the it's been easier to find some European parts available than more European parts are available than actual like Cummins, Cat, and Deere. You know what I mean? Deere has been also not as good. Not as good availability. We should say that. Not. I don't want to bash any one of the brands, but like I had a Cummins turbo. I was working on it's a PACCAR. It's an 8.3 Cummins, whatever PACCAR wants to call it, right?
The PX8.
Yeah, PX8. There you go. And my mind is actually just blown, right? Like every day now, I can't even concentrate on jack squat, because it's just jobs everywhere, right?
Yeah.
This guy, that, whatever. It's crazy. And that's one thing. If you don't have ADD, become an independent field technician or independent mechanic, and I think you will acquire ADD, because you have to be thinking of 1,000 things all at once, right? Like, it's nuts. But no, so I had a turbo take a dump, right? Turbo was just belching oil, and it was a bad deal. So I called Cummins, and I'm like, okay, or I called Kenworth. I'm sorry. I called Kenworth. It was in a Peterbilt truck, but PACCAR's PACCAR. The Kenworth dealerships, about a half hour from me. The Peterbilt dealership's an hour and a half, right? So I'm like, PACCAR's PACCAR. I'll call with the engine serial number down to Kenworth. If they have it, great, right? Because you can't really call. I don't think you can call Cummins for PACCAR parts. I don't know if that. I think
you have. Yeah, you have to have the crossover number. Cummins can't look up the crossover number.
That's it.
Kenworth and Peterbilt can look each other's numbers up.
That's what. Yes. So that's where I was like, okay, I'll call Kenworth. They'll get it. Boom, boom, boom. Right. And he's like, well, if you had an ISX 15, I'd tell you it was 90 days out for a turbo. He's like, but this one, he's like, I'm gonna have to check. And he's like, oh yeah, this one's 60 days out. Okay. What do I do with this truck for 60 days? Right? Like, I need to get some stuff rolling. I ended up finding one because it's a whole set turbo. So I went back and that's another thing, guys. If you're having a hard time finding parts, try to find the base part number if you can. Like, I went with the whole set number and went through a whole set dealer that sells whole set turbos and found it that way. That's how I found it. And I ended up getting it within a week. So that was a far better option. So I mean, I know you can't really do that with injector cups on a big cam from, but you're already looking at opportunities, right? And different stuff. But you could have just found an old big cam one in a John Deere tractor and stole the heads off of it.
Yeah, it's funny because I called Diesel Cast West when I did it, and I was like, well, let's just rebuild these heads. And so I called Diesel Cast West, and absolutely zero valves at Diesel Cast in Portland, Oregon. And they're a huge outfit, right? He said, he goes, we normally stock, his exact words, I don't remember what the number was, but it was over 400 valves that they have on the shelf at any given time. And when I called them up to drop the heads off, they're like, yeah, we don't have any valves. We don't have any cups right now. And you're looking at 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, if we were to have the cups, if we can get them coming. So I had called Freedom Racing, which shout out to Freedom Racing Tools. You guys, if they don't sponsor me by any means, they don't do anything, but they treated me 100% right. I ordered NTC 855 tooling to do injector cups, right? So, and it was a set, and it's a company, I can't remember what the company name is of the tool, but basically I was able to remove the injector cups out of the heads, but I couldn't actually swedge the cups in the head to keep them in the head. And so they sent me a version. I had version 2. They sent me version 3 free of charge. They overnighted it free of charge to me. They sent me a return label for version 2 to go back to them. And then I actually broke version 3 on the first cup. And then also M11, if any of you guys that do Cummins, M11 and N14 cups are pretty close, but they're different. So they're the same outer bore or outer diameter, but they are a different inner diameter. So the injectors are different, but the cup's outer hole is the same. And so I ended up with M11 cups on the first round, which is, I mean, it's fine. I basically wasted a full set of M11s trying to test this tooling, and they backed it 100%. They refunded all my money. And so those guys treated me awesome. Every time I talked to them, they were awesome to deal with. I took a couple pictures of the broken tool. They emailed me return labels. They paid for shipping return. They credited my card within, I mean, it was like 24 hours and the money was in my account. And they're phenomenal to deal with. I don't use them very often because they don't have a whole lot of tools. And then, as Phil knows, I got Monaco tool in my backyard. So
this guy is absolutely in the honey hole of like special tooling for engines, right? Like if you a Monaco tool, I bought some stuff from them for an ISX actually. And I tell you what, their tooling is precise, nice. The fit and finish is beautiful. They are, I mean, obviously they're made right in Oregon. And so it's great products. If you need something special tool wise for a diesel, period, right? I mean, they don't make much for John Deere stuff, but Cat, Cummins, very well rounded for Cat, Cummins International, I believe, are there 3.
And Detroit.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, if you're an over the road truck guy, right, they're totally in your wheelhouse. If you're working on Cats or something with the Cummins in it, the QSX, ISX, whatever you want to call it, right? Same stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So they're a freaking phenomenal place, and I wish I had them in my backyard. But I also live like a half hour from Dart Racing, right? Like where like I could go to Dart and pick up a block if I needed to, save myself the shipping, right? So I mean, we have some advantages here in Michigan as well, but not like that. That's pretty sweet, Let me catch up with some comments here. We're getting buried up. This one might be interesting to you too. Phil, have you heard Deere lost the right to repair act court case? I haven't heard all the details, but it sounds like customers will be able to program software. Um, I don't know about that. I don't know if they're going to allow people to program software though,
Right.
because I don't think you'll be. You might be able to program software, but I think the file is not going to be able, like Cummins. You can get you can program Cummins software, right? But it's this version, this serial number goes in this engine. Okay, cool. You can put that in there, but I don't think you'll be able to change anything besides like the features and parameters on Cummins. I think it'll be very similar to that, where you can take off the PTO, turn on the PTO on a truck. You know, where equipment wise, you might be able to change some throttle specifications. And this might just mean that the customer version will have to be more available, which is awesome for service.
I think it'll, what we're going to see is we're going to see the Tesla model. If anybody has followed Tesla throughout this right to repair situation, the reason you cannot purchase software and everything to do Teslas is because they do not have a dealership network. So because they do not have a dealership network, they are not required by law to offer you that software and that hardware to be able to do it. And John Deere, because they have a dealership network, you're going to be allowed to have that customer level or that dealership level software, but you're going to have to get authorization for those special programming situations. So if you're an end user, this is, I should say, I'm speaking my opinion. I'm not.
Everything here is hypothetical. Nothing here is concrete.
I wasn't in the courtroom. I'm not in the engineers conference room and stuff. But coming from the manufacturer's level,
we're just a couple of jackwagons BSing right now. That's all. You know.
So knowing what I did at the manufacturer's level, right, when I was traveling and going to dealerships and customers wanted stuff. Basically, the way I told the dealers and the customers whenever I'd sit down in those meetings was that if your end user mechanic wants to go to those classes and your dealership can't take it on, right? So what's going to happen is the customers are now going to have the opportunity to push the opportunity for their mechanics to go to classes, go through all the training programs in the John Deere levels and see where they can get. It's going to be a long road. It's not going to be tomorrow, right? But if you're not certified, qualified, whatever classes that you have to take to be able to get the authorization from John Deere to be able to program an engine, program a hydraulics, program any of that stuff, you're not going to be able to do that in the field because you bought 3 John Deere tractors and 1 mower, right? Like that's not going to just say you can program whatever you want. It doesn't mean you're qualified.
And that's what I guess I was kind of alluding to too, is they're going to be able to give you like as a former Deere technician, right? As far as capstone and all of it, and could do all dealer level things, right? The only thing I could do as a Deere fully certified, all the bells and whistles, knighted by Deere to say you're able to do all this stuff, right, to our machines, is I could go up to let's take a 450 John Deere dozer, right? And I needed a new ECM put on there. I could go up there with my laptop. I could hook to it. I could pull the programming off of that ECM, put it onto my laptop, install the new ECM, and then put that exact software back into that ECM. That's all I was allowed to do. Now, a few other things would pop up, like if you had a vac truck with a auxiliary John Deere engine on it, I was allowed to say it had a let's say it had a throttle lever or a throttle switch. So if it had a low idle, high idle switch, or if it had an actual throttle dial, when I was doing that programming to a new controller, I would have to tell it if it had a dial or a switch. Those were something that I could change on my end, but at the end of the day, that's all they would allow me to do, right? So I think that there's going to be some eye-opening things, like you're saying, for people to say, this isn't the golden ticket. You haven't won the golden ticket to repair everything, right? Like, it's not a golden ticket at all. But it does allow a lot of companies to get in there and be able to start communicating. Like, I have Jaltis software, right? They do a great job communicating with engines, right? So I can go into Cummins International, Kubota, all of them, right? And do what I have to do as far as emissions, as far as stuff like that, and whatnot. But I had a New Holland backhoe a few weeks back. I went out on. Gentleman had a code, and it was in D rate, right? So I'm like, okay, if it needs a regen, I can do that with my Jaltis diesel laptop, right? I went out there, and the actual trouble code for that, the code that it was giving that was causing us all the problems. Now, this is going to sound a little bit like I'm playing with words here, but if you listen carefully, the trouble code, or the FMI, all that stuff, right, said that the injector number 2's coding is missing. So the injector code that you program in when you put the injector in was missing, right?
Yeah.
I go through my Jaltis software. I go to ECM data. I pull it up. Boom. Injector number 2's code is blah, 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 13 digits long. All that stuff is there in the ECM, right? Now, me being non-dealer, I can't do anything with dealer. And it doesn't matter even if you had, I don't think if you had the, let's just say the magic computer with the dealer software, I don't know if I could have tried to reprogram that controller, because step one is going to be, hey, update your software file, right? Because this was, and the craziest thing was, Nate, it was version 1.1 was the version of software in this backhoe. Have you ever seen a 1.1 version?
No, usually by the time the engineers kick it out, you're already on like 10.10 at least.
At least.
It's funny you say that, because I got a buddy out of Utah that he actually reprogrammed. It was a case backhoe, and he reprogrammed the control module, the controller. Sorry, the dash controller.
Yep.
Wiped it out. It was so old that when he put the new program in it, it actually killed the module.
Oh,
yeah, so those are those things where, like, we talk about all the different options for software that we can get as independents, as dealer techs, as manufacturers, reps, whatever, right? Like, it don't matter. And yet times you just go, that's a dealer problem. I'm not stepping into that one, right?
And that's what I told them. I had to walk away, because I was like, hey, man, the step number one is going to make sure that we don't have a corrupt software. I mean, you're at version 1.1. I don't even know if that's a real version. I've always seen 1.14, 1.1, 1.3, 1.8. Like, I mean, the one dozer I had, it was a brand new dozer. And I was doing something on it. It was brand new, and I think the Ks were out for maybe a year, and it was 1.6 or something like that, 1.614 or some. It was like this giant number of version, and I'm like, the thing's only been out a year, and we're already on like the 700th version of the software. Like, what is going on here? But there was But I mean, that was, and the other thing you got to understand is like this thing was a final tier 4 backhoe with 400 hours on it. Like it's 2 years old, right? Does it still have warranty? I don't know. You know what I mean? Hard telling, right? But at the end of the day, I told him like, and it was, so we have frost laws, right? In Michigan. I don't know if you guys deal with that or not.
No, not like you. I mean, we get not like you guys. I've heard you talk about it before. We don't have what you guys have. Yeah.
So right now frost laws are on because it's starting to thaw, and they cut our weight by 33%, right? So
Yep.
whatever you were allowed to haul, like let's say you have a tandem dump truck, right? And you're allowed to haul 15 yards of dirt in the back of that thing, right? Now you can only haul 10 yards legally, okay, because the frost laws are on. So you cut your weight by a third. Well, this guy's got a backhoe and his normal trailer that he runs around with all over the place, right? And I'm like, dude, frost laws are coming on Monday. He's like, I'm already on my way. I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to get it on the trailer and get it up there while it's still legal, right? Because on Monday, he's going to get a thousands of dollars fine for driving his normal backhoe with his normal trailer, with his normal truck, all the normal stuff up there, to the dealer. So he got it up there. I don't know what happened to it yet. I was going to call him. It's been a couple weeks now, so maybe I'll reach out to him on Monday and see how things are going with that. But it was definitely an odd deal, and software is, software is definitely something we have to deal with every day, right?
Yep.
I mean, emissions. I mean, emissions is here to stay. You can't delete the world, but there's plenty of. I guess I shouldn't even bring up the world right now. Maybe that'll get me demonetized on YouTube, because you're not supposed to talk about bad things, right? Because the world is a crazy place right now, and we're just trying to. I mean, at the end of the day, we're trying to look out for our customers. I know you are too. Because I know who the off-road wrench is as a person, and he's just out there trying to get paid 100% of his time and keep a customer somewhat happy enough with them to,
dude, I finally just had to tell everybody no. I'm down to. I got three fleets. When I say fleets, I got 3 logging contractors that I say yes to on a regular basis, and one of them, two of them basically get an automatic yes, and one of them gets let's see if we can fit you in. So that makes it rough,
Yeah, I hear that. Sorry.
Everybody else is like, man, I'll see if I can get to you. I'll see if I can swing by, maybe take a quick look, but I'm like, I can't guarantee anything, and I can't give you any time frame, right? Everybody wants a quote, everybody wants a time frame, and I'm like, man, yeah.
I actually changed my voicemail to I changed it a while ago now that I'm booked 3 to 4 months out to try to somewhat regulate the number of phone calls and the sense of urgency with a customer.
Right.
So if they're serious enough, and I did say on the voicemail, I said something like, I'm currently booked 3 to 4 months out, but if it's something I can finagle in or work into a schedule, if I'm driving by your location or if I'm near you or something like that, and it's not a major repair, I'll try my best, leave a message with what you got. And that's kind of how I've been working it. And so far that's been really good. But I've got a customer right now. He brought me a stump grinder, which you're gonna be like, what a baby thing, but it's a 86 horsepower stump grinder, right? It's made by Rayco, and it's got 86 horsepower Deutz. 2011 in it, right? But he brought it to me and it was in pieces, man. He drove 3.5 hours to bring it to me. And I started talking to him about it, and I priced out a reman because the engine was in pieces and buckets and baskets, and the crankshaft was rusted. It was disassembled.
What was the availability of that reman?
Actually, it was, I'm going to tell you this right now, 3 weeks.
Yeah. So I've got a Sky Car. I got a Sky Car in the shop right now that's just a bare bones casing, and the engine is shoved in a corner, wrapped up. It is an engine that is not going to be available. So we know it. It's an Acme 10. I don't know. I don't remember what the engine is, but basically, Acme is struggling to get the older engines, and it's having to. What they're telling me is that there's only so many of those engines available that we can purchase. So we're actually having to convert a bunch of new ones. Guys are, those Sky Cars they're indestructible almost. Acme builds a phenomenal carriage.
What brand engine is it? It's Deutz, Kubota?
I believe they're Deutsch. I don't pay that much attention to it. I got somebody else that takes care of those engines when they do have an engine failure, and I just leave it up to them because honestly, that's one of those things that I don't have the time to deal with that on that. I can't allow that to take up my time. I got so many other things to deal with that customer that, and again, Acme's in my backyard, right? So I drive by Acme every day. I leave my house, it seems like,
I have a 65 horsepower air-cooled Deutz engine that is not going to work in the stump grinder that's used. It runs on a pallet right now sitting at my place. But it's a if you seriously are looking for a little Deutz, this thing is 65 horsepower, complete running engine.
I have some projects that might be worthwhile for you to send me some pictures and some serial number info.
It's got a 5 belt pulley on it right now.
Even better.
So, that's what it's.
Yep.
That's what it's set up with.
Yeah. Hold on just a second. Can you mute me?
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Let me pop you. I'm gonna pop you off. All right. I'm gonna get back to some stuff here. We're gonna get back to the comments because we're way behind here. Bill Snap-on guy is retiring. Oh, right on. Finally debt free. I'm looking for some deals. It's great news. Sounds clear to me. Nice truck. Nice job. Good for the independent guys for sure. Just give me a thumbs up if you're when you're cool, Nate. That's from Mrs. Beckett. Absolutely. We'll bring you back on here. I was just reading the comments because I've gotten behind as usual. Everybody.
Oh yeah, let's try and get caught up.
Holy cow. Hello, ladies. Haven't had any children. How you doing there, Broken Dave? Thomas Campbell, how are you? Nice to see you in the chat. Bill Beckett. So the cat dealer around here is telling customers a month at minimum for a service call.
Yeah, dude. So we're about 2 weeks. Our dealers, our heavy equipment side. So we'll just talk about the heavy equipment side. Our dealers are about 2 to 3 weeks. We are. In fact, my train to hunt partner, when I was competing at train to hunt, he called me. His dealer can get out Friday to pull a boom cylinder, but they don't know when they're going to get back to him with that rebuilt boom cylinder.
That's the thing, man. It's right now there is a premium. I think there's going to be a lot of companies like for you and me, right? I feel like the way the world is going, they're gonna look at us and say, how much is it gonna cost me to have me as your primary person, like you are for three companies, right?
Yep. Yep.
And I think there's going to be some stuff of like, so repair is going to be here no matter what happens with the world or the economy, or I don't even know if I should say that word on this live stream or whatever. It's like a bad word, right?
One of the trigger words.
What happens with the economy? Repair, like that is what we do here. Everybody in this chat, everybody that kind of follows this channel, it doesn't matter if you work on small weed whips to mining equipment, right? You can go from the smallest of small to the biggest of big. Does not matter. Repair is going to be in demand because right now, guys like you and me and these people over here, all of us are really the only thing that's going to keep this country moving forward. Okay, because right now manufacturing is what down. You hear guys talking about their tractors that they ordered last year, trying to get their excavators that they ordered last year, still waiting on manufacturing, right? And we have a hard time getting parts from manufacturing. But at the end of the day, a guy like you and me is going to be able to go out there and say, yeah, I know your undercarriage is whooped, but if you give me some time and find me some welding wire and I can patch this thing together. It ain't going to be pretty. It's going to look like me when we're done. It's going to look wore out, not that pretty, but darn it, I'm here working, ain't I? And that's I think that should be like, instead of sexy service trucks, I think we should have I'm not that pretty, I'm wore out, I'm not that pretty, and I'm still working page. I think that should be like our go-to, like I don't even have time to shave. I mean, you quit shaving years ago, but that's beside the point.
I even trimmed. Let's see. I don't know. Will it light up? I trimmed a bunch. I'm wearing a dark shirt, so you can't see it. But you see how much gray's in it? Look at that, man. That's like,
dude.
Yeah.
I got the whole. What's that guy? Wolfgang. What's that guy that? Shoot, somebody told me that the other day. I have the two white little patches here going. I used to have a nice red. It was red here. It was bright red right here, and I don't know where that comes from. But,
yeah.
I had red when I was younger or whatever, but now it's getting gray. I don't understand that. But yeah, and then I went. My wife took me to the doctor, the eye doctor. So now I got to wear these to see distance because she told me I was blind, and she's like,
"That's all right. I think I'm probably gonna end up with hearing aids sooner than later."
Oh yeah.
Hey, on that note, young guys, hearing protection, eye protection, and rubber gloves or latex gloves or whatever are not girly or what. I don't know what the politically correct word. I want to give you something else, but you know what I mean. Anybody makes fun of you for it, you just laugh at them and go, "Guess what? I'm still going to be wrenching longer than you." So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, safety isn't. I mean, we're currently, self-employed and our own bosses at this time, right? I go through just as many rubber gloves now as I did when I was at the dealership.
yeah.
Even though I pay for them, and I pay an absorbent amount for rubber gloves, right? Like we are paying 3 times.
Yeah, which ones are you? Let's talk. Let's just do quick here. Which ones are you wearing, Phil?
I wear the orange 8 mil. I think they're 8 mil gloves.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, the orange ones that have a little bit of they have a little bit of traction to them.
Yeah. So because the black the Black Ravens are 6 mil, and then the orange one. I try and get the orange ones. Yeah, but my supplier went out. We weren't able to get them on a regular basis. So I got containers in my driveway. That's my storage right now, my parts storage and my supply storage and things like that. I had 2 20-foot containers dropped off, and and I just have the parts store basically when I order up. I'm like, hey, what do you got for gloves? And it's coming back. It's a lot better now than it was, but last year, man, it was rough. And I want to say I was paying like $8 or $9 a box for Ravens, for the black Ravens.
Yep.
And I think we're up to like $17 or $18 a box now.
Yeah, because we're at like it was like $26 for the orange ones, I think.
Yeah.
26, 28 bucks. It was like almost. I called it $30 when I seen the bill. You know what I mean? I was like $30 for 100 gloves. Yeah. I'm like, that's 100 gloves. That's not 100 pair.
Right.
That's 100
It's
gloves.
Unreal. It's absolutely unreal.
And so I've been. I like the black Ravens are nice. They work well. I don't mind them. I prefer the orange ones.
Yeah.
But there for a while, I couldn't even get extra larges.
Right.
I wear an extra large glove, and I couldn't get the extra larges. And I'm like, okay, give me what you can in extra large. They sent me out these things that I put them on my hand. They couldn't get me extra large. They sent me large, and they were they weren't even as nice as the black Ravens, right? These things were like whatever you can get.
You're going to be making sandwiches at Subway.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I bumped a can of brake clean and the whole box shriveled right up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So we run them both. We run Ravens and hey, how about that? Does that work better?
Oh my gosh, the red light. Is that the after hours on call?
That's the after hours. The camera keeps going dark, man.
The red light district? Is that where you live? Is that where you're hanging out?
Yeah, they're my overhead lights, man.
So
the truck had no lights in.
So wrenches. By night, he runs the red light district out of the service truck. He's that.
Oh man!
I told you it was going to get better looking once he came on here.
So we run both pairs of gloves, right? I wear the orange ones. I get Jessica. She requested gloves. Of course, she sees me get them. She's like, "Where's mine? These are way too big." When she goes to work with me, does some stuff, different things, she likes to have them. So I get her the thicker ones because she doesn't go through them as much as I do. Okay. I run the black Ravens because I just go through them so fast, right? So, yep. But if I'm doing something with a bunch of solvent or brake clean, then yeah, we do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I try to, I have a tough time. I don't answer my phone much right now, just because I'm so far back, and I just let it roll to voicemail because I don't have time to answer the phone call. The best way is text me, and if it's a customer that's a recurring customer that I know, they know that, hey, if they call me, I will call them back, right? Like, right. And if it's a new customer, I let them leave a voicemail, and then I'll call them back when I can and let them know exactly what the voicemail said. But at least we have an understanding at that point of like, hey, this is not something you can't call me and tell me I have a blown hose. I need you to come out here like tomorrow. Well, dude, tomorrow's booked. Like, right. I've got a guy that's been waiting 3 weeks for tomorrow. I can't squeeze you in because of that. Now, if that blown hose is on the way to that tomorrow's job within a reasonable amount of time, and it's not going to take me a day to get it out or something, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'll pop in, I'll rip the hose off, I'll get the hose, I'll do the other job, and on the way home, I'll put the hose back on. Right? Like, yeah. I'm cool with working with you like that, right? But I can't go deadhead in the other direction for your blown hose because you need it today when the other guy's been waiting for today for 3 weeks. Right. So that's where my scheduling is, and it is what it is, and I didn't see that coming when I went out on my own, but it's been good. And I tell you what, like that Deutz engine, I ended up with a 65 horsepower. I called the customer. I was going to go start putting it in. I ordered motor mount, ordered engine mounts for it, ordered the pump drive coupling, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, we're going to set this thing. I know it's non-turbo, which I don't, you know what I mean? Like it was, I know it's non-turbo. I know I need engine mounts. I know I need the pump coupling new because that's missing. And after going through all the parts that were on the trailer with it, but I told him, I said, you don't even have a core. Like, because all the main caps were missing.
Right.
All the main caps were missing on a Deutz. You can't, like, I can't send this back as a core. So, that being said, I look at the engine, I'm like, oh my gosh, 65 horsepower. That's 20 horsepower less on a stump grinder. That's 25%. You tell anybody that runs a machine that you're going to cut their power by 25%. And I don't think I was at that point, I was like, okay, we're going to have an unhappy customer. If I get this engine in there and the machine running and he's 25% less horsepower than what he had before, oh boy, unhappy customer. If I call him and tell him, hey, this engine is not going to work because it's 20 horsepower less, he's going to be unhappy because he bought an engine that's not going to work, but at least doesn't have a huge bill for me for installing it and all that time and effort and work and money that I'm going to put into it to have something he's not happy with at the end of the day that he can't cut down. You know, because I know I've been working on more wood products, and I might call myself the chipper guy here pretty soon, because it's been wood chippers and stump grinders and backhoes and all sorts of stuff, man. It's been good though.
So one of those customers that I work on actually just brought a new machine from, I think the machine actually came from North Carolina, the base carrier. But basically, yeah, we've got a new JP Skidmore came out of Crosstrack. So it's on the other side of the bridge.
Okay.
Remember that conversation? Remember, I joke with Jessica all the time with that conversation you and I had. But anyways, it's on the other side of the bridge, and anyways, it's out here. So, you know, there's plenty of woodwork up there, man. You got and if
Northern Michigan has plenty, and actually, like if you go to a couple of the large tree service, I would say, companies out there is Bandit and Mobark, right?
Yeah.
And they're 3 hours from me, both manufacturers. You know, they're within like 5 miles of each other, both plants.
Right.
Mobark and Bandit, they're right around the same place. I found another company that I will get with you sometime if you're looking for Bandit or Mobark parts. They are very good, very knowledgeable, and they have a lot of stuff at a very good price.
I don't have to work on chippers and grinders much anymore.
Okay.
That's a task that I am happy not to. I mean, there's a few out there, but my customers, I've been getting deep into the yarder stuff, the cable yarding, and a bunch of the steep slope stuff, right? So like the steep slope winch assist, that stuff is just going off the hook right now, right? Like it's been pretty wild for the last 5 years.
So how long before you're the next Juan Ibarra on logging for the Discovery Channel?
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
No.
no.
I figured you'd be the next guy that's the most famous field mechanic in the world, you know, like
you're
the next guy.
No, you're talking about as famous as I am is right here.
Well, you know, everybody's got to have somebody to look up to, and you're my guy. So
yeah, I appreciate that. But
some people look up to, Tom Brady and such, and I look up to people like, I mean, in all reality though, you have been an inspiration to me, probably as much as anybody else. I mean, as far as, talking to different people that have been independent and chatting with people on YouTube and Instagram and whatever else. I mean, you're one of those people that have been, it's been good for me as well, because we kind of decided to go out on our own pretty much.
Yeah, well, you sent me that. I can't remember if it was a text message or it was a voicemail or whatever, but I want to say it was a text message. Was right before you posted the video of loading the toolbox up on the wrecker,
Yeah.
And
it was a year ago. October was one full year that I quit the dealership.
Yeah. So, and it'll be, well, it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years I've been away from my previous employer, but it'll be July. It'll be July officially. Will be 2 years.
October will be October, July, August, September, October. 3 months later is my 2 years.
Yeah, right.
It was like you were like, I'm on my own and I'm going for it. And I'm like, 3 months later, I'm like, he's right. Yeah, we can do this. Yeah.
I interviewed with a couple of dealerships when I left that previous employer with at the beginning of this whole COVID thing, when everything went down, and I interviewed with a couple of one manufacturer and one dealership, and they gave me their offer, and I went back to Jessica with it, and I said, you know what, we've got everything we need to get a start at it. We were building Sasquatch originally to be an overland rig, and so I had the truck, right? I had a utility box, and then I had a welder, and I had scored a crane. One of the local big construction companies had a crane laying out in the weeds, and I'd scored it for that Liftmore crane. If I remember right, I think I had $1,500 into it. Is all I had into it total. Controller, crane, everything, new hook, cylinder rebuild, all that. And I told Jessica, I'm like, let's just hit it. Let's just go for it, see what happens. We've been wanting to do it for a long time, and so we did, man. And then, like you said, 3 months later, you're like, man, I'm gonna go for it too. So, and I've always told you, I'm a phone call away.
Yeah, and same here. I mean, it's cool when you get to chat with people too. I mean, because it's like, the connections that I've made on this has been so valuable as far as I listen to have you listened to the Certified Wrench podcast?
I've actually caught up now. I binge listened, so they've been saved in my podcast list, and I binge listened this last week and got 100% caught up. Him and Jason Davenport with the landing both started about the same time, and between the two of them, dude, that's awesome. Like for me, industry, right?
Yeah, so, I've only caught a couple of the landings. I've listened to a few of them, and I don't know. I quit listening to the podcast altogether for a little while there. I was too. I don't know how it was.
I couldn't focus.
I had too much going on in my head.
Yeah.
To listen to something else. When I was at the dealership, I could really listen to podcasts well because I get zoned in on, and I guess that goes back to the ADD thing, right? Like I was like,
right.
Well, and I'm not saying there's anything good, bad, or indifferent about it, but the way your mind pops stuff on and off, it's like you're working on something, but yet you're still thinking about this job, that job, this other job. Oh, this guy's supposed to call me back today with parts. This guy's supposed to do this. I think I got parts coming for that. I don't know what's going on with that. You're thinking of all that stuff, right? And then I end up working in silence most of the time, just because there's so much else going on in my head that I can't hear anything else. And it's like, man, how do I clear this up? and the past few weeks here, it's been I really started pushing. I slowed down the phone intake and pushed up on the work output as hard as I could for a while there, right? And I was like, it's one of those things where I tried to offset it, right? I was trying, and I'm like, first I was just trying to offset it with working more, right? Like just try working more, working harder. You'll get through it. You can do this. It's all good. Just keep it all going. You know, put the train in the high gear and roll on, right? And just keep it moving. And that wasn't working with the amount of work coming in, right? So I had to start slowing that work coming in down, keeping the pace up. And now I got to the point where it's starting to, I still got way more work than I have time for, but at the same time, I need to try to control that pace. And now I think I've got it figured out where this is not something I'm like a 6.7 Power Stroke complete fuel system. Man, I ain't got time for that, you know. And I just, you know, I don't have time to pull a cab on a pickup and do a complete fuel system. I got 1,000 other jobs I got to do, you know, and it's tough, you know.
Oh yeah.
And but he's a good customer, and I don't want to disappoint him. But he called me back and he said, "Hey, I've been doing some more research on the job that you're talking about. I've talked to a couple of people, and they said it is a big job. It's 3-4 days worth of work, and you're already way far behind. I don't want to see you overbook yourself." He said, "So if it's something you think I should take," he said, "I'm willing to take it to the dealer. I just wanted to give you the work first. If it was something simple, if it was something you could do, you know." And I said, "Well, I can do it. It's just the time, you know." So,
yeah.
I think on Monday we're going to try to find somewhere to, you know, farm that out to and go from there. But it's definitely not easy. I'll tell you that. Saying no when you're the guy that people rely on.
Yeah, I've been not to squirrel too much, but I have started. I've been filming, so I know everybody probably wants to know why haven't been no new videos and stuff. But I have been filming, and like I watched one of your videos the other day, Phil, where you're like, "I'm just emptying some SD cards here, guys. We're gonna throw some stuff up here." But I've got content and stuff. I don't know when you're gonna see this happen in the videos when I do start uploading again, but I had to make the phone call. I'm trying to bring on an independent contractor. So I'm trying to bring on a second truck, and I can't take it on. I just can't do it. And the workload forecast for the next 9 months, I won't be able to keep up and be able to do my family life, which has already been sacrificed to get us where we're at. And you know, especially when you do an engine swap, I call it unplanned maintenance, unscheduled planned maintenance, right? So we've been just going gangbusters, right? We've just been working nonstop.
I'm not trying to ignore the comments by any means here. I'm trying to keep up with them a little bit. I do.
Why don't you just pound through them?
But sometimes
pound through the comments.
Well, everybody's just saying hi. Where did I get the engine from? The customer went and picked it up. Yeah, I'm thinking I haven't seen any new tractors come in. Yeah, new tractors aren't coming in. Did repairs for, wanted it in right away. Telling him no. We cut him off. Had enough of his crap. Yep. Today's world, you should probably be a little handy so you can get yourself up and running. Absolutely.
So hey, stop there. Go back to that one right there, and I'll just touch on that one real quick because that's something that fits right into what I do. I operate a little bit different than some guys. I know that I've heard some independent guys when they're like, I'm going out on my own because I'm gonna keep the money to myself. I'm gonna keep that. One of the things that has made me successful over my whole career is I educate my operators and I educate my customers, because you know what? We're not getting any better, right? We're, as far as there's no more technicians coming in the speed that they're leaving, right? Because the good technicians, if you look outside of the hands-on side of it, right? The management's leaving just as fast as the technicians that are knowledgeable in the shop. So they're having to fill those management positions and those phone tech setups and those product support roles. So I educate my operators and my owners, my other fellow mechanics within the companies and stuff. I try and educate them as much as I can to put those skill sets in their hands to, at the very least, not waste my time driving up there to. I just had it happen. I mean, it happens all the time, right? So they'll call me with it's the output of the transmission. Well, no, it's not the output of the transmission. That's the input of the yarder, and that's a separate bolt. That's a different bolt. That's the other end of the drive line, right? And so it's a difference of a 3/4 bolt or a 5/8 bolt that I needed to know about. Or that was the swing motor hose. Well, it wasn't the swing motor hose. That's the center swivel hose, right? That's a travel hose down on the center swivel.
Yeah.
So if you're a mechanic, whether you're a dealership mechanic or you're an independent or you're an end user, educate your operators, and it will make your life so much easier. I mean, absolutely. And don't think that it's just stupid. It's stupid questions. Don't ever make them feel like it's stupid questions, because those of us that do it every day, we still screw up and we still make. I caught some video of myself explaining it, and I went, "Well, that was a retarded comment," you know. So
you know, and the way things work, logical sense of order and stuff like that is not. It's not common to everybody, you know. Common knowledge to you and me, like, dude, that's a 15 millimeter head, not a 16. What are you thinking, right? Like,
yeah,
it's not something you can, you know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, if, like you said, educating your customer is just as important as educating yourself. When you do go out, like, my biggest thing with education of a customer is, you know, you go out and let's say it's a regen, right? Something needs a regen. Well, can't we just get rid of this stuff? Okay, no, we really can't. We can, but I mean, you can. It's possible.
Right. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when it comes to I just had this conversation with a customer the other day. We were talking about a truck that was for sale. It was deleted, and it had engine codes. Well, let's say it was what did he say? He said that the customer told him it was a VGT actuator code, right?
Right.
I'm like, okay. It's a VGT actuator code. Most of the time it's turbo, but sometimes it's, you know, it could be the VGT actuator. It could be the turbo itself locking up. It could be the slide ring. It could be a lot of things, right?
Yep.
But my question was, when it was deleted, let's say, right, like whatever, and this truck wasn't even in this state, so it doesn't even matter. But anyway, I was like, when it was deleted, did the person delete the programming for the VGT actuator, or did they not? That is my question to you. If you're willing to go all in and have somebody program your software, and then you're like, hey, it's all fixed, it's great. Well, I don't know what they did and didn't do in that software. If it's OEM software, I can go to a book, I can go to a manual, I can purchase that manual, I can open that book, and I can tell you what I'm supposed to see that do, right? When you go off the beaten path here of where we have information to where we have no information is this holy cow. We don't even know we're out in the middle of the ocean on this deal. We don't even know what we're doing, right? It is a very scary place for me because, or us as technicians, right? Because we don't know what was tweaked in that software. Goes back to our John Deere and OEM conversation, right?
I just fielded a call yesterday for that same reason. I had done a regen. I was trying to be careful with the words that I use on the public here. Well, yeah, basically, yeah. So I plugged in with my computer and troubleshot it. Another technician was being relayed the information while I was working on it because I'm not always the truck guy. I'm a heavy equipment guy. I've been out of the truck world for a while, but I have kept my dad being a driver, I've kept my hand in it a little bit, right? So I stay up to date on the knowledge of it. Now, Tier 4 final and 2012 are the same thing, right? It's just truck or heavy equipment, right? So anyway, so I was trying to explain to the driver what was going on. He's getting information relayed from another technician who is a truck only guy. Mind you, they wanted to delete it. I said, I don't delete. I don't do deletes. There are people out there that do deletes. I said, but I don't do them. And I told him, and I straight up told him, I said, are you ready to do an engine rebuild? I said, you're plugging the DPF 100% within a day. Are you ready to do an engine rebuild? I said, it could be something as simple as an EGR cooler. It could be a turbo. It could be this. I said, we can keep going. We can troubleshoot it, but we got to go through the steps in the troubleshooting tree to do it, right? Well, so he actually, that driver took the truck. He had it deleted by a guy who did it in 3 hours. I think he told me it was 3 hours from the time he dropped it off to the time he actually got the text message, said the truck's done. You're come pick it up in the morning. And so the next morning I get a phone call, or next day or whatever, I get a phone call from that driver, and he goes, dude, this is a whole nother truck. It just woke it up, right? I mean, it's like the power it could pull, and it's a big 7-axle truck, right? So it's pulling, it's 2 tag axles and then the log trailer, right? So it's 100,000 plus pounds. Anyways, the next day, which was Friday, yesterday, I get a phone call that says, hey, my jakes don't work. I'm like, what do you mean your jakes don't work? I said, did he, in his programming, whoever wrote that software, did the VGT get cut out of there so that exhaust brake side of the jakes, did you lose that? And he's like, well, I took it back, and he said that they weren't, and they redid it, and they reprogrammed it, made sure it was right, and they got it in there. But it's when you start playing with the software and you start changing that stuff, it's going to change everything, whether it's horsepower going with your foot in the throttle, or it's horsepower on the braking side of it, or it's the way the codes are thrown and who's, and so when we chase it, for those of us who really want to get down to the whys of what the real problem is and the root cause, sometimes that aftermarket programming, you end up shooting yourself in the foot more than if you would have just left it alone and fixed it correctly to begin with.
Yeah, I had a similar situation with a job, and I was actually at the dealership at the time. The truck was a final Tier 4. This was a few years back, whatever. The truck was deleted, right? I did not know that. Nobody knew that. Nobody knew. Crazy, right? Nobody knew that this was done. The rod, it was number 5, I believe. Number 4 or number 5, whichever one lines up with the ECM on an ISX 15 liter, right? That rod went right through the ECM. Block ECM, the whole kit and caboodle was
Gone.
We're talking literally a rod through the ECM. Carnage everywhere, right? So they wanted to go remand because they wanted the Cummins warranty, right? Okay, no problem. We get a new ECM, we get the new thing, and that was a whole nother ball of wax because if you don't have what you started with, like you said, you can't program the jakes, you can't you have to turn on all the special parameters, and then you have to multiplex it in with because Cummins just comes with a blank ECU basically that you have to program to your Peterbilt, your Kenworth, your whatever it is, right? You have to multiplex that all in manually. Well, that just came from Cummins, so I'm doing that, and then we found out the EGR was blocked off. Well, that's weird, right? So we put a new EGR cooler on it, thinking maybe they just took off the EGR, right? The amp is still on there, the def tank's still on there, everything's still functioning. So like everything.
Yeah, you're talking the earlier days of the final tier 4 deletes that are out there before they became
before everything became crazy. Yeah, this was pre people getting raided by the feds.
Right.
Right. This was back when it was still kind of a gray area, okay to do, I think. I don't know if it was.
We were still able to get glider kits, and it didn't matter what engine was between the frame rails.
So yeah, that type of stuff, right? But so going back to it, I actually got that thing to pass a regen and then it would come back with a differential pressure sensor code, right?
Right.
This was like after a while. Right, and I'm like, that's weird, right? So anyway, I pull the tubes out. I'm checking the sensor. Everything seems to be working fine. I'm actually reading differential pressure, which is crazy, right? And then come to find out, I had 2 empty cans underneath that truck, and what was happening was, this is the craziest thing in the world. The one tube was bent enough that was like crimped off with a pair of side cutters a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
That it was reading a differential pressure within an empty canister. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like they crimped it enough to a certain point where it was reading, where when I was doing a regen, it would read differential pressure. Because the one crimped and the other one wasn't. So it was like a false, oh my gosh. I fought and fought. Finally I put a scope in the thing to see in the DPF and SCI system so I could see it, and it went right through. And I was like, whoa, this thing's empty. So then we finally got righted. But that was another unknown, right? So there's And I don't know if they tried to do that, bend the differential pressure tube to start with, so they could say, hey, maybe we can get this thing to think that it's running okay, by doing this and trick it out and just bend it enough to where it reads the differential pressure. That's not going to put it in a regen, but not going to, let it think that everything's okay. Or, this was the early days of doing that stuff, and I don't even know if that's even. I'm sure they're not doing that now, but either way, it was something that really bit me as a technician because it was the unknown, right? Like who would have thought to look inside of the exhaust for missing particulate filter, like completely gone. Like somebody.
Well, that goes back to the like how many catalytic converters got yanked off of a car and somebody ran a rod down through the center of it and stuck it back in a car, So
in the 80s and 90s?
Oh, yeah. Well, and we're in the same world right now, but what do we got for more?
That's the thing.
What do we got? What do we got for more comments? You're probably quite a ways behind.
When a tree company has good experience with service, you will get all their work and word will spread. Absolutely. For sure. Dave. Hey guys, heavy wrench and off-road wrench coming in late. What was your previous employers? We don't really say their names, but I worked for a John Deere dealer, and you worked for a independent dealer type of deal, or
I did.
Was it a forestry dealership?
No, We won't even talk about them at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you worked for
prior to my employer, my last employer. Prior to that, we can talk about them. So basically, I was a product service rep for Tiger Cat. Yeah. And so, and the dealer for them prior to that, I was a field mechanic for a dealer prior to them. And I mean, so, I mean, if you really want to know, I mean, I've worked for Komatsu, Caterpillar, Detroit, Link Belt, Tiger Cat.
Yeah.
So
that the brands of equipment, basically, I guess that was the thing. You actually worked on some JCBs. I've seen in one of your videos too. I'm pretty sure there was a JCB you did a video on.
My previous employer, the videos were a problem. So
yeah, but I remember seeing it. So there was some JCB work. I want to make sure
they were an independent. They were an independent shop. They have like 9 trucks.
I just wanted to throw that out there because JCB is always a thorn in the side of everybody, right?
Yeah.
Just the JCB in general. I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there so that way everybody knows that he is capable of working on JCBs. He loves the yellow wires, all of them.
Right? Yeah, that's kind of like all white wires on a Freightliner.
Absolutely. No, but that's where I actually have worked for a Caterpillar dealership. I've worked for Komatsu and Deere, as well, JCB, JLG, Great All. I don't even know. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that they were a dealership for too, but it definitely was. So I've had plenty of dealer training as well. We've both been through the dealership world. If that makes sense. On the equipment side, I've never worked for a truck dealer. I worked for an independent truck shop for a short stint. But yeah, thank you, One Mechanic. I appreciate that. Oh, Mike Jones, thank you for the phone call the other day. Yes, absolutely. Explain how that. Yeah, they are. Usually, your customers are interested in listening to why their bill is what it is, right? I try to teach operators what they aren't paying. Yes, you're in a little different world there, One Mechanic.
One Mechanic. We're not even gonna go there.
Yeah, we don't need to go there.
We don't even need to go there.
Yep, if you can fix it over the phone. I had one guy. It was snowing like crazy here. It was snowing like crazy, and it was probably an hour. Dave, One Mechanic. Don't forget Moxie. Yes, Moxie trucks as well. Those are another thorn in the side. But that's okay. But yeah, where was I going with that? I was just there was a JCB. It was snowing like crazy here in Michigan, and the guy was like an hour and a half. It was an hour on a good day, right? Snowing like crazy over the phone. I really didn't want to go on the job, to tell you the truth, because I think it was like Christmas Eve day or something like that. And he's like, it's snowing like crazy. I can't get the machine started. It was a no start on a little JCB. And I'm like, man, I'm telling you right now, you got to make sure, does the backup alarm beep when you put it in reverse? Yep, it does. Okay, when you put it in neutral, does it go off? Yes, it does. Okay, we check your F&R switch. At least it's working from reverse to neutral. When you turn the key, does anything happen? He's like, yeah, the lights come on and everything goes blank. I'm like, okay. I'm like, are you sure it doesn't just need a jump start? Like, check your battery, check your stuff. Let's do this, right? So he's like, nope, I've had a jumper cables on it for an hour with my vehicle. It's not the battery. I'm like, okay, well, I'll bring a starter and a battery and an F&R switch, because that's literally a JCB no start. The best thing to do is take a battery, starter, and an F&R switch, and a set of fuel filters, which I already had fuel filters on my truck. I had the F&R switch on my truck, the battery, and starter. I had one on my truck. I used to keep one on my service truck at that time. But the only thing I didn't have was the battery, because I like to keep them inside. So I grabbed a battery, rolled out, right? 25, 30 miles an hour down the expressway is all I could go. It was that slow. It took me 2.5 hours to get to him. I drove all the way down there, got down there, battery was like had 9 volts in it, right? Not even close. I'm like, I put a battery in it, fired it up. That's all I did. Put a battery in it, fired it up. That dude's bill was insane because I talked to my service manager and I said, hey, it's going to take me this long to get back too. Like, it's no joke down here. It is snowing like crazy. I can't go fast the same distance, right? Okay, we're going to have to bill him. He was fit to be tied.
Yeah, dude,
I was trying over the phone.
You have to, and then, but you also have to bill it, especially those, I mean, we as independents, we don't have the sales side to help things out. We don't have the parts side to help things out. I mean, some guys are set up for parts, but I'm not. And so I try to do it, but I bill gate to gate. I roll out the gate and I roll back in the gate. I'm billing time. And the truck's expensive to operate. The tools are expensive to operate, and my customers understand that. In fact, recently the conversation's been the cost of everything going up, right? And my customers that I want to work for are the ones that are telling me when we have those conversations of fuel price and fuel surcharge and cost of getting parts and the lack of stuff that they're like, you just charge us what you feel is fair, Nate. We trust you. That open communication back and forth allows us to share, maybe I'm sharing too much information with my customers, but at the same time, they share stuff with me that I haven't ever been able to get as a dealership mechanic. And we just keep moving forward. But honestly, man, you have to charge for that time when you roll out that gate if you made the conscious effort on the phone to try and troubleshoot.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. If you're making the effort now, if I was the guy that was like, yeah, I'll be there in a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to talk to you about it. I don't want to try nothing. You go down there and the guy's like, you're going to charge me what for a fuse? Well, that's one of those things at the dealership you were kind of trained to say, check all your fuses. Make sure they're all good. Please do that. I had a customer, the one just the other day, came over with a stump grinder and it wouldn't start. He brought it over and I was like, man, if you show up, it's a no start and I'll look at it. I'll look at it quick. I said, I'll give you 1 hour of looking at it. While you're here, everything's cool. We'll take a look and I'll see if I can get it fired up. Then we'll go from there, right? So I get it. He comes over. It was a nice day. I walked outside, started looking at stuff, and found a blown fuse on basically the fuel. It was for the fuel shutoff solenoid, the fuel solenoid. So I replaced the fuse, fired it up, let it run for a little while. I checked the resistance on the solenoid. I'm like, that's kind of low resistance, man. I think you're going to need one of these. And he's like, man, I got to get this other, if I can get this going, I appreciate it. Whatever, right? Like he was good to go. The fuse was fixed. I said, no, I'm not guaranteeing this repair because that solenoid makes me a little sketchy. He called me the next day and was like, hey, that fuse blew again. What do you want me to do? I'm like, bring it back. I'm like, it is what it is. Now I'm going to order the fuel shutoff solenoid because I already know that, right, going into it. So he brings it back and I order the part. Then when I get the part, I put it on, right? Everything's good. He's happy, right? But it's that sort of stuff that could be upsetting if if I'm like, hey, did you check the fuses? And I went over that with him, right? And he already had it at another place that told him they couldn't help him, right? So I was place number 2 that he took it to a truck shop, an independent truck shop, and had them look at it. And they said, hey, it's beyond us. This is the guy. Call Phil. Okay, cool. So he calls me. So luckily it all worked out well like that. But that's the type of finagling stuff in that I've been trying to do. Is like, hey, this is where I'm at. If you can get it to me, I'll give you 1 hour. That'll extend my day by 1 hour, and I'll still get done today what I need to get done, but and still help you out. And he was happy with that. And that's the stuff you got to train yourself to do when you're independent, is try to make sure that they feel like they're getting the value from you too, and being open
Yeah.
with them. And
yeah, and I've had to train myself for the idea that everybody I'm working for is small businesses, and the guys that are like, oh man, you're gonna make me a deal, on this, or you can do, like, if I'm gonna give you my time, that's my choice, but don't ask me for it. And the guys that ask me for it, generally, they're the ones that are getting 100% of the bill, and they're going to pay that 100% price, and they're going to the bottom of the voicemail chain, right?
yeah.
That's back to that small business stuff. I do the same thing with my small businesses that I do business with. I make sure that they get their full amount that they deserve for whatever they do. And I feel like it's doing me good over the last 2 years as to what we're doing. But
you can believe in a lot of things, right, in your life, and have beliefs. And there's one that really, there's one thing that I think falls into all categories, is the do unto others, and then also karma, are similar things, right? Like, if you're a good person, you go out there and do good things and treat people with respect and treat people right, they are going to ultimately treat you the same way. But also be cautious of the ones who you have to prove yourself to. They have to prove themselves to you as far as being a good customer and a good person too. To get those breaks. And like, I have guys that, the one guy I recently got hooked up with, he went independent rebuilding cylinders. He worked for a seal company that made seals, so you could drop them off a cylinder of anything, and they would find and source the seals that you need to rebuild that cylinder off of measurements and whatever. You just drop them off the seal kit, and they'd make you one, right?
Yeah.
And he recently went independent. Now he's got some contacts through whatever that he can get seals for darn near any cylinder. Not right away, but he can get them, right? So I've been kind of helping him out too. And like, if I get a cylinder that a guy called me the other day and said, hey, I need a cylinder done on a dump truck, right? I'm like, dude, there is no way that I can get to it and rebuild your cylinder, like, soon, anytime soon. You get that baby out and call this guy. He's independent like I am. He doesn't live very far from us, and he will rebuild your cylinder for you. He's like, really? I'm like, yep. Just tell him I sent you, and that's all I need. Like, just give him a call. He's done work for me in the past, and so far it's been on par with anything I would expect to get, right? So I'm going to say, and he's same as you and me, right? One guy, one man show. That's it right now. So, see if he can get you in. And that's where I've been trying to, and let him make up his own price. I don't want to, like, I could have totally told that customer, yeah, drop it off. Call that guy. Hey, pick it up. Hey, here's your bill. I'm going to charge you 10% for this, right? That's not, I don't want to do that either,
Right.
I might as well give you the direct source, and here you go. Here's the cylinder guy, and down the road, I'd love to be the guy that says, hey, I'll come out there and pull that cylinder off. Now I take it to that guy. Now I put that cylinder back on, and it saves me the time of the rebuild.
Yep. But it also changed the way you're doing business too, right? That customer no longer has to worry about anything, right? So you should get paid for that time right?
Yes.
You should, but when you don't have the time to deal with it, let's just hey man, take it over to that guy, right? I don't sell parts other than I sell Vision X lighting and I sell Grand Rock exhaust, right? So I sell that stuff to my customers when they need it. My door, old truck problems. Door just opened up on me. But I don't order my parts from Cat and Cummins and all those places and turn around and mark it up, right? I send my customers directly there. I work on so few customers that they all have accounts, right? And then the parts places know who I am. I'm already authorized to order parts for my customers through those places, and it just cuts out, I mean, paperwork headache for me, for one, at this point, right? At some point, it might be worthwhile for me to make that 10% on that part, but right now it's not. It's too much.
The way I've been doing it was like I had a power reverser and a backhoe that I just did, and I tried to find a reman for them somewhere, because I'm like, if I tear this reverser apart, what are the chances I'm going to get these parts? You know, this is an older, it's a 310, it was a 310D backhoe. So, what, 2000s era backhoe? Okay, it needs a reverser. I had glitter in the reverser pan, and forward gear was soft and slipping, right? So I know my clutch pack's not getting pressure, or most likely I figured it was a bearing going in the front of the reverser shaft, and that's what was giving my stuff, you know. It is so I called up, I found one through a dealership that was a reman. And all the ones I was finding on the internet were not, I don't know what I was finding. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of leery about what I was going to find on the internet for parts. Their prices looked good when you first pull it up, but then you start digging into it and it says call for price, right? So you call for price, and then it's like, what's your warranty? How do you work your warranty? You know, I'm asking all these questions, right? Because I'm a single independent guy. If something goes bad with this thing, how do I do this, right? Because now I'm purchasing it, so now I hold the warranty. So I talked to the dealer. The dealer's price was about, I don't know, $1,000 more than what I really found one that I felt comfortable with, you know. But at the same time, I really didn't feel that comfortable with it. So I told the customer, hey, here's where I found one. They're a more local place, right? And they're a large vendor, put it that way. I said, call them up. It's under my name. You buy the part. Then you hold the warranty for that part through them. Now, if that part fails, you have some leg to stand on with that dealership, let's say, that vendor, to say, hey, my part failed. Now, if I walk in there as an independent guy and say, hey, you sold me a part and it failed, what are you going to do for me? And they're going to be like, well, tear it apart, let me know what's going on with it, and then we'll let you know what we can do, right? I just felt more comfortable sending them there for a part like that. So he holds the warranty solely for that part. So that is a phenomenal deal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and I've done my best to keep my relationship with the dealerships as mutual as we can, right? I'm not out here to try and just undercut them. I'm not trying to, tell my customers that the dealership's not where you go. I send work to the dealerships. If I feel like the dealership is actually the better place for it to go, I send work there, right? So that being said, when we order parts from the dealership, it's no longer just, well, you're having Off-Road Wrench do that work, right? You're having Nate do that work. There's a mutual respect going back and forth between us, that I'm filling a need that they have, and vice versa. And the ultimate goal is the end user in the end, right? The contractor, the owner of the machine, whatever.
Yeah.
And that being said too, right, is that I hold them to the same standard I hold myself to. I try and I screw up just like anybody else does, right? I make mistakes myself. Parts are bad. Parts come out of the box bad, right? An alternator with a bent shaft, when I pulled it out of the box, I didn't pull it out of the box until I got up to the job, turned around, had to drive all the way back to town, right? I eat the time. I made the mistake. The customer sees that. Those things that go back and forth, it's all of us working together in this whole thing. But when we're dealing with the online side of things, talking about our parts availability and stuff, we're just getting it wherever we can right now, right? But on the online side of things, man, I make a phone call. Most times I make a phone call first before I order from online, and I want to talk to that guy in person.
Yeah.
Or not in person, but talk to him over the phone and whatnot. And because it is those of us that are independent, we're sticking our necks out there just as much as anybody else would be doing.
Absolutely, and especially on big ticket items,
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is, though, I think with the dealerships and the independent guys, is that we are not here too much. We're not here to take their work. We are here to help their customer not have to rely on them as much.
Yeah.
So that way, because you always have the customer that's always calling the dealership. There was plenty of customers that would call the dealership and do the how can I say this without being without sounding silly? I guess the stuff that you and me would do on a normal regular basis for the dealership, it was almost like, man, if you had somebody that was like, you could do so much better if you had somebody that could take care of this, where I could come in and do your warranty and do your large scale repairs and your stuff that you really wanted to put stuff towards, and the independent guy, like we are actually a huge bonus to their part sales. We buy parts all the time. So thing we're really losing is the labor on different stuff. And if you're remote, like most of your jobs are, right? You're not 5 minutes from a job. You're saving that dealership days of time of driving that they could be productive in other places, making more customers happy. And that customer is not going to start buying machines from us. They're still buying the machines from the dealership. The dealership is still a big part of their working industry. It's actually plentiful for all.
So I got to get off here pretty quick, but I'll finish this. I'll finish with this, and I treat as if I was like a fleet manager. Basically, I treat it as if I was, at least with my main customers, right? I've the two. I have a really close relationship with the owners of the company, and I treat it as if I'm their fleet manager. I'm that trusted figure that they come to when they want to bounce an idea off of, or do we purchase a new machine? Do we rebuild this one? Do we purchase OEM parts, or do we go aftermarket? Do we, where do we go with that kind of stuff? I'm the fleet manager who inspects machines on a regular basis. I'm the guy that comes out for a job. Let's just say the engine's running bad, or it's got a nasty oil leak. We're going to reseal an engine or something like that, right? A cam's bad, or I'm going to come out and do that. But at the same time, I'm going, dude, we got to order grapple tips for your grapples. Hey, did you know that processor over there's got some bushings out in the grab arms or the feed wheel arms? Those are the things that they don't necessarily get to know, and the operator is the one that should be telling them, but might not be telling them completely, right? So that's the added value. I'm not cheaper. I'm pretty open at the fact that I am not cheaper than the dealer, but I am a higher value than the dealer in the aspect to the customers that get the benefit of me being that fleet manager's side of it, right? Because when you do work for the dealer, you're trained. You and I both know this. When you work for the dealer, you're trained to focus on your brand and your brand only.
Yes.
You know, and
I'm here to help your company thrive is what my goal is. You know,
yep.
with these guys some of these guys I'm dealing with, it's like you said, it's more of I try to help. You know, it's like I told the one guy the other day. I told him that I'm trying to keep. If I order a part, if you're bringing it to me, I'll order the parts now because I've done business with you before. I know that we're okay, right? Like everything's good to go with you as a customer. I will order the parts now. That way, when it gets here, I'm closer to doing it because it was that auto feed. He wanted me to add auto feed to his chipper. I'm like, well, I'll order the parts now. If you're bringing it to me, cool. Bring it over. I'll order the parts now. That keeps your repair going. And he's like, man, it's so awesome that you are trying to forward think the repair enough to keep me going. And I'm like, dude, look at it this way. If you're not making money, you can't pay your bill.
Yeah, and there's a lot of dealerships.
His mind is blown because as an independent, we can say that.
Yep.
Because we do care about them paying their bill. We do care about them being able to pay their bill with that.
Well, they got to be going. They have to be up and running just like we have to be up and running, right? If they're not up and running, we're not able to make money. If we're not up and running, we can't keep them going, right? So, but you know, those of us, like when I say we're more value, right? Myself, you, a bunch of other independents that are out there, we have those relationships with the customers that turn around and say, you know, hey, I'm thinking about buying this piece of equipment. Are you able to go look at it on Thursday of next week? Or hey, we've got 2 or 3 pieces of iron that we want to purchase at an auction or something like that, right? You don't call Caterpillar up and say, hey, can you go inspect those 2 John Deeres and that 1 link belt shovel over there at Ritchie Brothers auction in New Mexico, right? You don't put the mechanic that works on your 320 cat shovel on a plane to go look at John Deere and link belt, right? Those of us that are capable of working on all the different brands, but it's a slippery slope at the same time, right? Because we're the jack of all trades. We're good at everything and great at nothing, right?
Well, there's a saying that full saying I think is you can be a jack of all trades but a master of none. But it's always better to be a jack of all trades than a master of one.
Yep.
That's the complete saying, right? So for us that are doing this and we work on a lot of different stuff, like, you know, like I said, 6-7 Power Stroke, wood chipper, John Deere backhoe, excavator, dozer, skid steer, whatever, right? Like, yeah, I may not know that a New Holland backhoe has an FPT engine in it, right? Has a Fiat engine in it right now. But when I get up there and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a Fiat, right? Or oh yeah, that's a Deutz. Oh yeah, that's a Gavoda. I know enough to know where. And knowledge is not knowing. Like, you know, you get the old car guy that can rip off the Chevy firing order, right? And they're like,
I got to look up a Ford firing order every single time I work on it, right?
They're all different.
Yeah, right.
A small block Ford is not a small block Ford, and that's just the way it goes. So, you know, 302, 351 have different firing order.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. You know, it is what it is. But you like it puts me back to that mindset of like that guy that's like, oh yeah, I'm a, you know, you're a Chevy, blah 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 blah, you know, and then you're like, hey, yeah, let's check the timing on it, right? And we'll go to cylinder 1, right? And you got Mr. Chevy guy, because cylinder 1 on a Chevy is driver's side front corner, right? Ford's over here on the passenger side front corner. That's where our number 1, like, we're
yeah, and two's and two's not on the other side of the V, right?
Yeah, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, you're going to number 5, and number 1's over here. But the difference is, I'm going to go to that book and figure out where number 1 is. It may take me a few minutes longer, but I'm not going to untime your engine because I think I know, right? And knowledge is knowing where to get the information, not knowing the information. That's true knowledge, and that's what I think we have as a collective group in our, even the community that we have here. You know, is we all are like, we're not the experts, man. We're just people that know how to get the expert knowledge or expert information.
And I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time too, right? Like, oh, well, the dealership sent out this guy. He didn't know anything. He just, he was on his computer the whole time, or he was on the phone calling somebody or whatever. And, I had a service manager tell me, about 10 years ago, something like that. There was the dealership I was working for. There was 2 of us that were pretty good at traveling, pretty good at just, give us a phone number and a contact name, and we'd call and we'd go do what we needed to do. That service manager was a service manager. He was at 2 different branches in his career with them. And he said, he's the one that told me, he's like, the best mechanic I ever had the highest cell phone bill out of the whole company as far as mechanics go. And I looked at him, I'm like, what are you talking? He's like, man, that guy was not afraid to call and make a call. And I just looked at him, and it was like, that's a pretty good way of looking. I mean, that was one of my best service managers I've ever had, because he was understanding. But if I'm on the phone, and there doesn't mean I don't know what I'm doing. It means that I'm getting the knowledge and getting the correct information from the guy that I know has that information. I might be calling the dealership. I might be calling you. I might be calling, Chad. I might be calling Eric, Tim, whoever, right? Like, I could rattle off how many different names of these guys that I call when I'm like, hey, what am I doing wrong here, right? Something isn't jiving.
Have you seen this? Is another thing that I like to keep in contact with people with, is because it's like, hey, have you seen this? Because this is not lining up with my head. This does not make sense to me. Is this something that, does this make sense to you? Like, bouncing that off somebody else without being on an island is so valuable to everybody, dealers, technicians, anybody, is having a network of experience and knowledge that you can pull from that helps you. And then, like I said, sometimes it's a book. Sometimes you sit there and you read through something to figure it out. And I mean, John Deere does a great job in theory of operation. I will give them kudos to their books, because John Deere's theory of operation will tell you exactly what is supposed to be happening and when it's supposed to be happening. And is awesome for a technician, because now I know what to expect. What is the outcome supposed to be? Most of the time we don't get that. We're like, the operator's like, it's just slow. Well, your cycle time should be this.
Oh yeah. How many times have you been up on a guy in a 210 excavator, log shovel, whatever, and then he gets in a 370 and he's like, man, this thing's slow. I'm like, it's not a 210. This is, you just got an F550 out of an F150, right? You just got out of a Coyote powered F150 with no weight in the bed into an F550 with a 5.4 Triton. Not that they're in there, but you know what I'm getting at, right? Like,
I know what you're saying.
Similar power plants, and yet there's just so much more there, But
it's like, but you look at the spec and you're like, hey, your cycle time's here where it should be.
But how would you, and how would you know that when you're a guy that goes, oh man, I've not necessarily been on this machine. So you got to call somebody, and you got to look in the books, you got to educate yourself. And those of us that are independent, I think a lot of guys fall into that trap of just not continuing their education as an independent. And I don't know. Like I said, I got to get off here, and
yeah, well, I appreciate you being on, man. It's dark.
We could probably do a whole nother live stream just on that your and I's experiences between dealership and independence.
100%. We could do hours and hours on that. I mean, that's it's an awesome thing to experience firsthand. It's an awesome thing to hear about, I think, for the people in the live stream here. And I appreciate you coming on tonight. That was so awesome. I actually didn't even realize. I thought it was Friday night. I didn't realize.
There's being an independent.
The reason I got on here tonight was because Nate actually texted me and said, "Hey, I finally got a night off. Where are you at?" And I'm like, "Shoot, it's Saturday. It's 9:20. Oh my gosh!" Now I grabbed my computer, ran down here, and got set up, and I was like, "Well, we're gonna see." I got a call from Mike Jones. He was, whatever. Anyway, I don't know what his new name is there, Mike something. Anyway, I got a call from him the other day, just saying, "Hey, how you been? I haven't seen you in a couple weeks. On everything okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, and I'm just working like crazy." And so we chatted for a little bit, and that was nice. But I figured I'd try to. So
I am still filming so I guess this. I got to get off here, but
yeah,
we'll end it. I'll end it this before I leave for those that are wanting to know, because I've been getting messages here or there, on Instagram. Those of you guys that you've seen Instagram pretty full, pretty active. And then, but I have been filming. I do have a couple SD cards that are full. In fact, my phone gave me a notice today that it was full again. But yeah, we're just going gangbusters and just trying to stay. Honestly, I'm trying to stay up on everything I need to do. We're YouTube, as much as I appreciate the following and I appreciate you guys' support, YouTube doesn't pay my bills, and so YouTube is the first thing that gets dropped out of all of it, because my family first. Well, for me, God first, family, and work. So we're trying, we're doing what we can, and I'll get you guys some content as we go. But thanks for having me on, Phil.
No problem. That work and family get kind of fuzzy sometimes because you have to work for the family, and the family has to come before the work, and it's yeah. Jesse and I were talking about. They kind of parallel. So, all right. Well, I appreciate it as always. Thank you for stopping on. Have a great night, and we will talk to you later.
All right. See you later.
See ya. Well, that was awesome. Got to talk to the off-road wrench there. I'm going to catch up on a few comments and then hop off here, I think. Diabolical popped in. Diesel Dude popped in. I seen you guys. Walter Frederick, how are you? How are you all? Ed T. Trying to catch up here. Seth, thank you. Let's see here. RG, nice to see you popping in. Terex popped in. Diabolical is on there. How is everybody doing? See AgTech. Sorry about that. Walter Frederick. Small I just put a timing light on 6. Screw with someone. Yeah. Same here. Friend and my dad's helped us out. We helped them out too. Yeah, sounds good. I appreciate everybody coming on here. I'm gonna hop off. It's been over 2 hours. That was an awesome conversation. Thank you again for stopping in. Hopefully we'll get back to doing this again soon. So hopefully I'm hoping to get some content maybe on that engine. We'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. But thank you all. I appreciate it, and have a great weekend, and good night.